I'm Brian Boggs from the Leading Mind Academy, and I'm joined here today by a cricketing legend, Mr. Max Walker.
How you going, Brian? Good to see you.
Thanks, Max. We actually met a few years ago, of all places, in Peru, Max.
Yeah, Machu Picchu. We were at a conference over there, and we had a bit of, I think there was a farmers' revolution. There were machine guns, and
it was confronting, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah, these people were confronted with change that was going on in their government at that point, and they were showing their concern with rocks and guns and stones and knives. Right now, Max, there's a lot of change taking place in our industry, and the landscape for financial advice in Australia is going to look completely different. Now, in your career, you've made enormous changes, and always for the better. Can we just have a little bit of chat about how you embrace change, Max?
Yes, it's almost a given change, isn't it? My life has been a meandering stream from the backyard of a hotel in Hobart, across Bass Strait, into Melbourne, or the mainland as we call it. Played Aussie rules footy for the Melbourne Football Club, got involved in cricket, obviously played for Australia, and had a lot of fun in there. But when the selector puts the big biro through your name, that's rapid change, let me say.
Yeah.
And within a day I was involved in radio. The door of opportunity swung open.
I must say, Max, you've got a great head for radio.
Frighten a dog off a chain on a dark night, wouldn't I? But you can't have it all. You're right. To me, I'd never done any radio before. I'd trained to be an architect. My dad was a master builder. He said, son, that's where the future is. I believed him. It was great advice. And the building blocks that my architectural studies gave me has made it possible to do all the other things since then. It wasn't long before I got headhunted into television, which is a whole different dimension. You play word pictures with radio. Television, the pictures are obvious, and it's a whole different skill set to bowling in swingers and leg cutters, and the journalism, the curiosity for what makes people and businesses tick. And today, as a speaker, I get to sit in the engine room of some of the biggest companies and some of the smallest companies in Australia and around the world, and I hear they're thinking about the next 12 months and the next 5 years. Once the change again happened dramatically after hosting Wide World of Sports for 16 years, it was all over. So the last 10 years, I've actually embraced technology. I could not type 10 years ago. Look at these fingers. You can do a lot of damage with those on a keyboard, but I still write. I've written 14 books with a big Mont Blanc Meisterstrucker fountain pen. I had to grasp a whole new lot of skills because the juggernaut that Channel 9 was, the infrastructure there was extraordinary. And yet, James Packer came into play, took Hey Hey at Saturday, IMT, Midday, Wide World of Sports, Jeff Jan's cooking show, just took it out. Now, that was out of my control. I could have a pity attack, or I could actually say, well, okay, what do we do next? And I run into a young kid. I know it's a long answer, but relevant to change.
Sure.
Young fella named Johnny. He's 23, he's got 6 degrees and about to finish his 7th PhD at Melbourne University. Now, this kid had the earrings, the tennis cap on back to front. His space is cyberspace. If you asked him what he did, he'd say, I build multimedia platforms and portals to make people like you a lot of money. Fairly compelling. The future's opened up, manifesting itself in so many different ways because I've been able to marry my thinking to Johnny's thinking and the other spheres of influence around, and that beautiful equation, imagination plus association equals possibility. That's been my mantra for a long time, and I live by it every day, albeit with fountain pens and coloured felt pens. Beautiful.
I looked at the new application. It's fantastic. What's it all about?
Short version, today we've just completed the official Melbourne Cup iPhone application.
Wow.
On the Apple phone. If we had more time, I'd show it to you. It will be available on the 26th of October for the Melbourne Cup Carnival, but it's got electronic race book, it's got GPS tracking at the track, it's got hook through to VRC site, updates, office sweepstakes. You can upgrade your photographs into it, look at history. Very sophisticated for an old fountain pen dinosaur like me.
Love it. You've really embraced change. You're certainly a glass half full kind of guy. I had a look at the application this morning, and it's fantastic. You really, really do understand change.
sometimes we don't talk enough to people. And if you just listen, I know in particular older people, they have a fabulous story to tell. A lot of our younger people perhaps don't feel that they're so relevant today. But some of the things that worked a long time ago, with a bit of tweaking and a bit of imagination, can be the basis for some fabulous futures. And so I probably deal in story. That's my currency. I sort of collect people who are opportunities that we can share together, but it's the storytelling that is the glue and the catalyst to change.
Fantastic. Max Walker, you're an inspiration. And thank you so much for your time today.